because of General Fonseka's very irresponsible statement, which he had made, we are now back again in focus, which is not good for Sri Lanka, which is not in the interest of Sri Lanka. And in fact, I would even venture out to say that this statement has betrayed an entire nation. It has betrayed all those who have sacrificed their lives in giving us this freedom and eradicating terrorism. It has betrayed those officers that he was leading at that time. People such as the present Army Commander, General Jayasuriya, who was the Vanni Commander, Major General Shavindra Silva, who was the Commander of the 58th Division. And in fact, the soldiers have been betrayed, because Professor Alston says, and I quoted earlier to you, that it was the soldiers who shot these people who were carrying white flags. So this is a great betrayal, and it's something which has to be denounced. It's something that may need to be looked into further in terms of the laws of this country. And as you know, General Shavindra Silva, you may have seen that interview which he had given. He disassociates himself. Yeah. No. The question is, media reports also say that Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa had given you orders to shoot LTTE leaders. That's the question. So he's answering the question and saying that they had not, that no such orders had been given. So he's very categorical here. So that's the situation, and Sri Lanka has again unfortunately become the focus of the international community, of the Human Rights Council in particular. Now when Professor Alston presents his report, I have to go once again to Geneva to put forward the real position. And this was not something that needed to be done. It's bad for the country, because Professor Alston's communication is shared with other rapporteurs, it's shared with the Human Rights Council. People will now use this to call for a war crimes probe, to call for an international inquiry, and the person who made these utterances must take responsibility for anything and everything which damages the good name of this country. And I would even venture out to say that a person like this cannot be trusted to hold the presidency of this country. Thank you very much.
Sir Fonseka went on to say that he was given orders from the secretary, but they did not carry it out. So in that sense, what you're saying is not...
Well, dear lady, I haven't seen him saying anything of that sort, because all various newspapers have been referring to him as saying this, but there is no proper categorical statement coming from him as of yet, as of now. Wait, I'll explain the whole thing, saying that it was a mistake, that he did not say what he said. The Sunday Leader editor stands by her story. My secretary had spoken to the Sunday Leader editor, and she stands by the story, and there are quotes attributed to him. Now, that's why I took this, brought this Nation interview, because what you are asking is directly related to what Major General Shavindra Silva says. Major General Shavindra Silva says, no such orders were given, so what more do you want? He was the man who was on the ground at that time. Not a man who was not even in the country at that time. You know, this is the man who was there on the ground at that time. He says that no such orders were given by the Secretary of Defense. So what more do you want? Go and read this interview. You have not read this interview. Go and read this interview. This is coming from the horse's mouth, I would say.
Got your response now. When we spoke to Professor Rajiva, I think it was the day before yesterday, he said that he had already drafted a response, and in that response he says that since the General had now not retracted, Professor Rajiva said that he hadn't said it, but the probe was...
I can tell you officially no such response has been sent. No, I am telling you, no such response has been sent to Professor Alston. I am the minister of that ministry. You can quote me and say that, you can quote me by saying that no such response has been sent to Professor Alston.
Yes, well, the minute we got the letter, it was addressed to me from our mission in Geneva. I sent a reply. Unfortunately, I was busy yesterday, so I couldn't sign it. I sent it this morning. And I told him that your statement is based on the leader. Most of the facts in it, there was one thing that was based on the leader. You have asked whether this news report is true, and yesterday the leader actually carried a note saying from General Fonseka saying it's not true. Now, I don't know whether General Fonseka and Mrs. Jans have agreed on what was said or not said. She says she stands by her story. He denies it. As I said before, we had problems of people either misquoting him or, if it was true, him saying a very terrible thing.
We will be sending a consolidated Government of Sri Lanka reply to Professor Alston in due course. No, you can ask him that. I am telling you as the minister of that ministry, no such response has been sent. Because I am ultimately responsible for any responses that have been sent. No such response has been sent, as he may have contemplated in sending a response, but no response has been sent as of now to Professor Alston. You can take it from me that is the official position. Because for a response to be sent to Professor Alston, it has to go to the Foreign Ministry. From the Foreign Ministry, it has to go to a permanent representative in Geneva, and the permanent representative has to hand it over to Professor Alston. So no such thing has been done up to now. Now, you don't go and report and say, I contradicted Professor Wijesingha. I was not doing that. I simply told you that no official response has been sent. No, I know what is going in your mind, so don't do that. Don't do that. Huh? No, I am telling you the official position. Please understand. You have to ask him about that, but I can tell you one thing. There is no official communication which has gone from my ministry, which is the Disaster Management and Human Rights Ministry, of which he is the secretary of. Right? The Government of Sri Lanka consolidated position is in the making. We will send that and we will ensure that we give you a copy, maybe more than before anyone else, since you are so interested in this. I'll give it to you first. And that is not I can tell you that is not the consolidated Government of Sri Lanka position that has been communicated. That has to be communicated through the Foreign Ministry, through our ambassador, who will then hand it over to Professor Alston. That channel has not been used. That is the official channel.